Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. Today I have a great project for you. But first, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you are alerted every time I drop a new video. On to the project. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create these even more stack and whack cards. You are going to make 4 cards at one time. And here I'm using a really fun fruit-themed paper, but I thought today, since it's Christmas time, I will use the modern Christmas paper. This is a gorgeous paper that has this gold foiling on one side, and then the other side is sort of black and white, and for the most part neutral. You don't have to use it for Christmas. But I thought this would be a fun collection to try the even more stack and whack. So what you need is 4 different designs. And I'm going to cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. And these are going to make an A2 size card. So I'm taking 4 different designs that coordinate. You want them to coordinate with each other, but you also want them to have some contrast. So like these coordinate because they both have the gold foiling, but you know, one has a gold background, this one has a black background. And then I'm going to do this one that has a white background, but it's got this black and gold design also. And then I thought I'd use this one that has stripes. Four by 5 1/4. Okay. I've got my 4 different designs. Okay. And the idea of a stack and whack is that you can stack them up like this and then whack them, cut them, and you can try it if you want to. I'm a little bit afraid to try and cut them all at once, so I'm going to take the cheater's way out and cut them individually. So I don't know, these might not be considered a true stack and whack because I'm not stacking them and whacking them, but I'm still going to call them that. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the top left corner in the trough of my cutter and the bottom right in the trough of my cutter. I'm cutting it diagonally. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing from the top right to the bottom left, but if you want, you can sort of washi tape them together or something. I'm just going to hold them together in place. And I find that it works really well. So make sure that the corners are lined up. And I do recommend starting the cut inside the piece of paper, because if you try and go from the corner, you might sort of smush up the corners. Okay, now let's set these aside, and I'm going to leave them in the order. So let's do the same thing with this one. And I'm hoping we get some trees in all of the corners. Okay, and if you kind of keep it together and just turn it, I think that makes it easiest. Okay, that's actually really, really good. Okay, and then I'm going to leave these intact in order, and I'm going to place them on top of the other one I just cut. That's key, is you keep them in order and you stack them on top of each other. Okay, let's try this one. I'm going to try and hold it together and turn it. Okay. Okay, and then put this aside again in the order. And then this one, the last one, okay, line it up in the trough there. Okay, and make sure that it's held together in the center, and then there we go. Okay, now you can see, since these are all on top of each other, it's just like we stacked and whacked them. Okay, if you've got one of those big, like, guillotine cutters, you can try and cut these all at once. But these are in the same order. You've got the gold on the top, then the black, then the white, and then the stripes. They're all like that. Gold, black, white, and stripes. Okay, now here's the fun part. This top piece, we're not going to do anything to. This stack, we're going to move one from the top and move it down to the bottom. This one, the bottom stack, I'm moving two. 1, 2. And then this one, I'm moving 3. 1, 2, 3. Now each and every card will have a different design using these 4 pieces. Okay, this is actually a technique I learned in quilting when I made a crazy quilt. I stacked up, I think it was 12 pieces of fabrics, 12 different pieces of fabric. I cut it into 12 random sort of pieces, and then I did the same technique where I went 1 under, then 2, then 3, all the way to 12. And so each square on the crazy quilt was different. Same thing with this. Okay, now let's put the cards together. You're going to need 4 card bases, and this is 4 pieces of basic white, 8.5 by 11 that I cut in half and scored and folded. So I have my 4 bases. And I'm going to take, let's move this over a little bit. And take one of the bases, take the top piece, and I'm going to start about 1/8 of an inch from the top and try and center it as best as I can. Okay, take the top piece from the right. And if you always go in the same direction, it makes it easy so you don't get confused. Start this one. Now, the key point is you want the seams to be with no gaps. It doesn't matter if they come together in the center as much, because we're going to put a sentiment over that, so you can kind of hide that. So it's better to have your seams line up. There we go. And then the last one. And with these corner pieces, I like to make sure I get that adhesive on the very corner. Again, the key of the last one is to try and make the seams fit and the corners fit. And then again, the inside can be slightly overlapping. Okay, so there's one card. We're not done. Here's card 2. Oh, normally I start at the top. Let's start on the top. It's easiest if you get this top piece centered. Okay. Okay. Now let's do this side one here. And it doesn't really matter if you have pieces that are directional. As long as you cut it with the 4-inch across the top and then the 5.5 across, you know, I guess the side, your pieces are going to always be in the right orientation because we're not spinning them around or anything. So you don't have to worry about like your trees going the right direction and so on. Okay. And so this really does look like a nice quilt pieced together. I love the gold and black of this paper. Isn't that fun? Okay. The next one. Start with the top. I'm just using a piece of backing that was on a sticker sheet or something to put my adhesive on the paper. So if I do run off the paper, it doesn't go onto my mat here. That's a nice little tip. You can also use Tombow green glue. We know how I do with green glue. I'm not the best. I'm not the best. It would be squeezing out the corners for sure. But you notice how every one of these cards so far is different? I mean, we're using the same 4 sheets of paper, but every card looks a little bit different. Okay, one more. Again, center of the top, about 1/8 of an inch down. And you notice I'm always going sort of clockwise. Okay, the bottom piece. You can see how I'm really trying to line up those seams. And then the last one. Okay, there we go. Here are our 4 pieces, or 4 card fronts. Look how fun those are. You can definitely see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Now on this one, I stamped a sentiment on the front. It says, "You are so sweet," and then I put you know, a matted circle around it. I did not pop these up on dimensionals because I'm going to send these to customers with a make and take inside. So I really want the card to be flat so that I can, you know, put some supplies in there without making the card be too thick to go through the machine. But this one is just a Christmas card, so I'm going to I'll probably pop them up. And I think I'm going to use the ornamental Christmas set and the dies maybe I'll use one of the, I think I might use this for a sentiment. They did come with a circle. So let's see what I do. Okay, I think I'm going to try to emboss the edges of this. So I'm going to take my Versamark, just kind of rub it against the edges. I know it's a little bit hard to see what you're doing there. And then take a piece of scrap paper, and I'm using this gold embossing powder. Hope it's going to match. Okay. I'm gonna have to do this twice to looks like I didn't get much on that edge there. Okay. Okay, and this is just very rustic around the edges. Okay. You want to make sure you move your embossing powder before you turn on your heat gun. See if I can do it so you can see. Changing. There we go. I can see it changing. It's just getting the very edge of this embossed. Okay, let me move this a little bit to make sure I get that spot where the, I'm just gonna go around the edges. Okay. That's just to give it a little bit of a something there. Okay. And then in this collection, there's also these large gold hoops. And I bought them because I was really curious about what they were like. And they're nice and metallic. They're very heavy. They don't feel plasticky. I thought they might be plasticky. This really feels like it might be metal. Let's see if it says what it's made out of. It doesn't really say what it's made out of, but so what I'm going to do is pop this Merry Christmas up. On dimensionals. Center it. And And then I'm going to put this on here. And I think I'm going to use my Tombow glue to do that. And just put little kind of dots around it. Not a huge amount because I don't want it to ooze out everywhere. But I think by doing it like this, it will stay. Okay. And then center this onto around the circle. Okay, and now let's let this dry. Okay, for this one, I thought, why don't we try the ornament? Let's just try the ornament. Even though the bases are the same, let's try 4 of these and see which one we like. You can make them all the same if you want, or you can, try different things. And actually on this first one, we can see what we like and then make another set. With our favorite. Put this away. Now, this set does come with some things that you can put in the center. I'm going to stamp, I don't know if Merry Christmas will fit on there. I think it's too big. Yeah, it's too big. Let's do 'Tis the Season. Let's try 'Tis the Season. This set is going to be one of the last cling stamps that they have, because now we're going to all photopolymer. Why don't we emboss this one? Since I'm not going to have the gold hoop around this, why don't we just emboss it? Get out my spare sheet of paper. If you have an anti-static pouch, you can use that first, but mine is out. I didn't even know you could use up all of the resin in it, but I did. Maybe Santa will put one in my stocking. Okay. Now let me see if I can do it this way. I'm going from the underside just so you can see it change. And then I'll go back over the top. Okay, perfect. Now I feel like this is pretty plain, so why don't we add something to the top and to the bottom? I think the dies, They do come with these caps. So let's see if I have a piece of gold. Okay, I have a little piece of this gold paper, so let's use this. Okay, beautiful. And what do we think about putting something down there? Let's see if we can use this and cut just that bottom part out of gold. Okay, I think that will do it. Let me move it up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, put this away. And then basically this is going to have to go straight across like this. Let's see what we think before I put it on there. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So what I'm going to do is adhere the topper to here, and then adhere the bottom like that. And then maybe let's put this on here, and then I might go back with some stickles. Okay. So let's see. Let's pop this guy up. But I want to do that once it's, I don't have to touch it anymore, so I can let it dry. Okay, and this is going to cover the top. Okay, I have this gold glitter stickles, and I have the onyx pearl stickles. I think I'm going to use this one, the black. And just try and do this in one. Ah, okay, perfect. Now I'm going to let that one dry. Okay, on this one, I think I might try and do the Christmas star and some gold foil. Let's see if it will show up. I thought it would be better than the black, but we can see. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's do the mini dimensionals on here. Put one on each corner. And okay, I think that should be good. Okay. And then on the inside, I can write, you know, Merry Christmas or something. I think that's really, really pretty. I think for this last card, I'm going to do the trees. Okay. Let's do this one in black. Okay. And then let's do the other one. Oh, wait. This is pretty. It's pretty wet. Let's do this one in gold embossing. Use my Versamark. Okay. Cover it with the gold embossing powder. Oh, there was a smudge on my stamp. Little piece of paper. You know what? We'll put a gold gem on that or something if it comes out. Okay, let's watch this. Again, I'm going from the bottom so that you can see the change in the embossing powder when it happens. I love to watch embossing powder work. And then I'll go over it in the top for a little bit. Okay. Let's see. These do come with dies. Here are the 2 dies. Let's cut this one first to give this time to dry. Okay. Okay, here's this one. And then it's pretty dry. Okay. You can washi tape it down if you want to. I'm willing to risk it. Okay, so here are the 2 trees. I wonder if I could put the Be Jolly on there somewhere. Okay, like that. I think, you know, what I'm going to do is cut a circle for the Be Jolly and put these around. Let me get some more white. Okay, let's try the Be Jolly stamp. It's the only one we haven't really used on this. I like to try and make samples or reuse most of the... Now I'm going to put this up in the corner because I want to put the trees kind of off like this, you know. Okay, let's put this on. I'm going to pop it up with my dimensionals. Use every last bit of these dimensionals. And I will center this on my X. Okay, and then I'm going to bit of adhesive there, but I think, let's see, maybe at the top too, I'm going to put a dimensional just to support the parts that are not going to be on the popped up circle. Okay, this one, I'm going to do the top. And I think I'm going to put dimensionals down here. These are the mini dimensionals. You really need both sizes for all of your projects. Okay. And now I think I'm going to put these flower accents just down in here, because it feels like it needs something in that little space. And then I think I'm going to put one down here. I would like something up there, but okay, these are called flower accents, 165171. And here are my 4 even more stack and wax is what I'm calling them, because this is the 3rd set of stack and wax cards that I've made. You can check my other videos for the previous 2 sets. I had stack and wax cards and then more stack and wax cards. And this is even more stack and wax. This one I did a little more jazzed up, right? Stack and wax are supposed to be kind of fast and easy. These were fast and easy to make the card bases, but I did a little more embellishing on the top. But these ones I did, you know, these non-Christmas ones are very basic. You can really crank out a bunch of cards just by doing this. Okay, I just have the card bases, the stack and wax part, and then just simple circles matted with a sentiment. You could add gems if you want, but like I said, I'm trying to keep these cards flat because I'm going to use them for make and take for my customers. So I would probably normally add a little bit of gems, but I'm not going to on this one. Okay, and here they are. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the project. You can purchase any of the products I used in the video at my website, thecraftychemist.stampinup.net. I have a Facebook business page, Crafty Chemist Designs, where I go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. I also have a Facebook VIP group called The Crafty Chemist Presents Stampin' Up, where you can share your artwork and ask questions and have a good time. You can also find me at Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Crafty Chemist Designs. My blog is periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com.